What the hell is going on? 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 I traveled far to be with you, then you leave me, girl. That's not cool. I never thought that this could happen. What the hell is going on? 'Cause I love you, I need you. Said I see you moving on the dance floor. I never thought that this could happen. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, baby? Tell me what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? 'Cause there was a time you were here with me, girl. All things were fine, lost and happily, baby. Then you decide that you're not gonna be mine. But I lost my mind. This life is not for me. 'Cause I love you, I need you, and I see you grooving on the dance floor. I never thought that this could happen. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Yeah. What the hell is going on? Tell me what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, baby? What the hell is going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
Welcome, Call in America.
Welcome to Call America, ladies and my name is Kelvin.
I'm Taylor.
Jesus.
And we are calling America.
And we are calling
CIA.
How you doing, baby?
I'm off to a good start. How about you?
Hey, I'm choking as usual. I'm choking on some damn wine or some shit like that. What was that sound? I heard like a sound. Oh, I think that's one of our guest hosts. Taylor, we've got guest hosts this show. Oh my god.
Do we have a couple?
We've got like a thruple.
Okay.
We got a thruple, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the show. We took like a 2-week hiatus, took a 2-week break, and we kind of revamped the show. We were having some issues with. If you guys are out there, go ahead and put your comments in the comments. Say, hey, what's up? If you guys are out there, we want to know if can you hear us all good? Is the sound good? Give us a little shouty shout. Okay, that's how I say TikToks, tickety tick TikTok TikToks. Okay, let me see. Oh, I think we're good. Oh, we got the sound is on point right now. So sounds super good. Okay. So if you guys are out there, share the stream. We're going to get right into the show. We got a lot of show to talk about. We've got 3 special guests. We've got Brent Whiting. We've got Matty Steinkamp, and we've got Austin Hinderbelt. Hinderbrent. I fucked his last name up. He will tell us. He will correct us on as to what that. Hildebrandt. That's what it is. Hildebrandt. That's amazing, and he's gonna let us know what that is all about. So that being said, let's get right to the topics here, guys. We're talking about Donald Trump. Oh, actually, you're going to tell us topics. Tell us the topics.
No, go for it.
Talking about Donald Trump, guys. Trump 2020. We're talking about the reality. Trump 2020. We got Matty Steinkamp that's going to be talking to us about that. We're talking about police brutality. We have Brent Whiting, who was actually at one of the local one of the Phoenix protests just recently. He took a bunch of amazing pictures, and so he's going to come in and talk to us all about that. And we're going to talk about police brutality and just the state of police right now. And then we've got Austin Hinderbelt that is going to be just speaking about Kamala Harris and and talking about that. So
just for clarification, it's Kamala Harris?
It's Kamala. All right. So it's like you're saying comma, like a comma. You put a comma on something and it's Kamala. And I'm glad you bring that up because it's important to say people's names as is. Ladies and gentlemen.
Like Hildebrandt.
Like Hildebrandt. All right, you don't gotta shout me out. Okay, you don't gotta call me out all the damn time. All right, so we're gonna bring on our first guest here. I believe he is ready. I don't see that he's ready there, so I hope this works. This is the first time that we're doing this, guys, so it's gonna be super super exciting. Here are the rules. Your opinion is not right. It is yours. This show is all about opinions. The phone lines are wide open. 585-502-7922. Let's bring in our first. Is he ready? There you go. Let's bring in our first guest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring in Brent Whiting. Here we go. You're just going to click that and add him to the stream. Bang. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the one, the only Brent Whiting. How you doing, my friend?
What is going up, fellas? How are you doing?
Hey, man, welcome to Call in America.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the invite.
This is super exciting. So Brent is awesome, is an awesome guy. You're a local Phoenician here. We're going to get right into the topics, Brent. We're talking about police brutality with you.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about what happened recently here in Phoenix.
So recently here in Phoenix, there was a protest about police brutality on the eve of Mike Brown's killing, which was the 6th year in now. Of course, Mike Brown was the youth killed in St. Louis, Missouri 6 years ago, and which sparked off a lot of pretty much what goes on now. I believe even Black Lives Matter had spawned off from it. So there was a protest here. And the special thing about this protest was Bruce Franks Jr., who is now a Phoenician, a brand new Phoenician, but he hails from St. Louis, Missouri. He went from battle rapper to state representative in his district. He's also an Oscar nominee. I mean, he's an amazing guy, really great guy to have here. And so this was Mike Brown is what sparked him to get into politics. So this was his first dive in Arizona for his first speaking protest, like his protest that was going to be led here. And he was starting from the I believe City Hall and then marching down into I almost want to say 1PD. Sorry. I feel like I've been watching New York TV shows too many times, but over to the police department over here in Phoenix. And when I wound up getting over there, I was with him earlier in the day. So I told him I was going to wind up hanging out and, going in support, especially taking my camera and, document it. Yeah. Considering this was his first led protest here in Phoenix, which is a big deal if you ever look up Bruce Franks Jr. And when I got there, nobody was there. But what was crazy was the fact that once I stepped out of my car camera in tow. I knew I was late. But I knew that with these protests, they usually keep on going on for a while. Boom. That's what I hear. I mean, and I'm talking 2 blocks back. I hear another boom, loud booms. I'm like, oh my God, they're over at the police department flashbanging people.
Wow.
So, it's one of the things that's common over here in Phoenix. So we've heard it before. And so I go head on over to check things out. And it was like I saw the protesters there. I didn't see Bruce there. So I felt that he probably left, but the protesters were there. And what I saw just amazed me. And the fact that I know that Bruce is not a violent guy.
Sure.
Okay. He's not a violent guy. He will not bring violence to you, but he will bring righteousness to you.
All right.
And he will speak the truth about police brutality and what he's seen, what he's grown up with. And, not to see him there was one thing, but to see them dressed up in riot gear, lined up, protesters face to face. I'm like, okay, where did the violence come from, or what were you expecting to happen?
And you're speaking about that. You're speaking about that in regards to the police coming down, right? So like the protesters were down there, they were not dressed in riot gear, right? Like,
no,
yeah.
That's the whole thing. When it comes to police brutality and what you see nowadays, you have to ask yourself, who are the ones that are dressed, ready, prepared, and trained for violence?
For violence.
And the ones who are only ready and asking for an end to police violence. When you see people, and what's funny is the police will become threatened by, like for instance, I saw them. One of the shots that I saw, if you look at my photography, is a cop with a pellet, like he's got one of the pellet guns, kind of like the paint guns, shooting. I mean, he is actively shooting at these people. Now, these people are not protected with riot gear. They're not protected with the shields. They're not, so he's meaning to hit them on skin and to hurt. Like the whole thing is de-escalation is what we're supposed to be doing. And what I'm seeing here is them just escalating. Of course, you're not going to get people to just run away and go away and forget about you. Yeah. You're just going to bring in, enable a new problem that's coming in.
So now here's my question. Now, you were down there, you saw this stuff. Like, were the protesters doing anything illegal? Like, were the cops coming out and saying, "Hey, this is illegal what you're doing. You need to back off," or was it just out of nowhere they're just coming out flashbanging people?
From what I saw, I mean, I just heard the flashbangs, but from what I heard, the guy that was shooting the gun, another guy was next to him, and I overheard him saying, "That's the guy right there who threw the water bottle." And I'm thinking. I'm thinking, wow, a water bottle. Water bottle. You're dressed military style. So you're in military style uniforms, just dressed in black. But if it was camo, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that person in Phoenix, Arizona, and that person in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And, you're trying to tell me that a water bottle is what's going to shake you up. That is a problem. And that's where police brutality at its root is an issue, because they are not trying to listen to the people. They are trained to brutalize them. The citizens are supposed to snap back into place and understand their point of view, but they're not supposed to understand the citizens' point of view. And that is an issue.
Well, what's interesting to me, and I just kind of want to talk about like all police brutality, right? Like police have this idea that they need to that they're in fear of their lives, right? Like oh my gosh, this person was, I was in fear of my life, and that's why I took him out. Meanwhile, you're dressed in bulletproof vests. You've got a taser, you've got a gun, you've got 6 other dudes that have your back who are also dressed the same. Where is this fear coming from these police officers? I mean, they're trained for this. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, citizens are just in shock that they're like, this could be my last time. This could be it. This could be how I lose my life. And they have to calm the officers down. When did this happen? How is this a thing here in America? Like speak on that.
You're absolutely right with that. The fact that one side is so trained against another side. And what's even worse, to go to your point, when I went and did more research, because I was wondering what happened, I saw online that Bruce had been arrested.
Wow.
So the one who had led this protest, he was arrested, and there was footage. He gave me some access to some footage of them arresting him, and it was just him crossing over the barriers. So they crossed over the barriers. The police had barriers, so they must have known. He has a reputation, so they were like, "Oh, this guy's going to bring the danger over here." It's like, no, he just wants to bring reality to you and not anything in violence. But someone had crossed the barrier. It's like, okay, he said that wasn't part of the plan, but someone did it. So they went to the front of the police department demanding to speak to someone, and they came out in riot gear as an attack to them, saying that it was felonious. It was a felony for them to be on the steps protesting on the steps of the police department. And that's what kills me. It's like, that is a felony in order to walk on the sidewalk and protest something. Barriers or not, the police department works for the people of the United States, the citizens of that town or county, depending on, which jurisdiction they're working on. And for them to be so scared of the citizens, so scared of them, that they would rather have a weapon on them to shoot them back, when all they have to do, one of the easiest things a police person can do, is listen to the community that they serve.
Come on now.
It takes absolutely nothing for you to say, you know what, I would love to speak to community leaders and other people to find out what it is that we can do better. But when you are in a situation where you feel that you're not just upholding the law, but you're above it, then you feel like you're in a godlike status and you can do anything. Because number one, you have the law behind you. Then you have a lot of the people behind you. Because when you see those black folks or people protesting for black issues, they are not in favor of it. You can't.
Hey, man, and that's the real threat. That's the real threat. You know what I mean? That's when you've got white people who are saying, "Hey, I'm sticking up for this black person." That's where the fear comes into place, right? Like that's the real threat. Yeah, you may be throwing a water bottle, but it's more than just a water bottle. It's the fact that they are not going to take it anymore. And it kind of brings me to Portland. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on Portland, because Portland is adequate. I mean, Portland, I believe they're still protesting today. And correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but Portland has been protesting since day one. They had the National Guard or whatever Trump sent out there to them, shooting these pregnant mothers who are forming lines, white pregnant Portland moms, forming lines, and then their husbands are showing up with leaf blowers. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest threat in America against racism today, right? Like, would you not agree? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Portland, as much as people will complain, here's the thing. Since the Mike Brown murder, there have been thousands upon thousands of peaceful protests in the United States. Thousands of them. The media, and especially the ones with an angle, will only report the ones with violence on them. So what it looks like is they will attach violence with Black Lives Matter or whatever protests that have to do with black rights. And it's like, those are only certain, like a little bit. So when you wind up having people such as white allies getting attacked, then you're starting to see that this is almost beyond race, but it isn't, but it is. It's like, if you stick up for black people too much, you will then be crossed over into this, and they will attack you. They will kidnap you. When Trump had his goons over there, the federal people, jumping people and throwing them in unmarked vans. It's like, this is now the Gestapo. This is what the people who formed militias and are, the big guys that are training in their backyards, buying all the bullets and AK-47s and protesting over at the Capitol about not wearing masks. These are the things that people like them should be protesting along with.
Come on now, speak that truth, man. Because here's the thing, and this goes back to like all the gun. I'm sorry, I'm hogging this conversation, baby. This goes back to the conversation of these gun owners, these rightful gun owners who don't take my guns. I got my gun in case the government ever comes down and tries to do this tyranny type shit. But here we go. Here we are, right? We have arrived. We have arrived. We are here, and they are nowhere.
They're absolutely nowhere to be silent.
What is that about?
They're angry about masks. They're angry about, these are my rights and my constitutional rights wearing it. No, there's a global pandemic going on. And while the global pandemic is going on, they are snatching citizens who are using their First Amendment rights, something that you should be backing. They'll back the Second Amendment all day long until, a bunch of black people might come in with a whole bunch of Second Amendment on their backs. I know at Mount Rushmore, when they wound up doing that with Grandmaster Jay and what were they? It was I forgot what their name, but they had it's a 4-letter word, or 4-letter acronym. I should say 4-letter acronym. Where they came in, there had to be like 100 black people dressed in black with guns stomping, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you know what? Look at this. It's reminiscent of the Black Panther Party and the.
Now we got an issue, though. Now we got an issue. Ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open. Ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open. Give us a call, 585-502-7922. Call me now. we want to hear from you. We want to answer some calls tonight, guys. Brent has been down there, he captured legit police brutality happening in live, where and Brent, what I want to talk to you about, what I want you to share too is this idea that like you were there and they weren't going to touch you. Right. Like that's kind of something that you brought up the other day. And I want to, if you care to share that, like share that experience as a black man with a camera, Black Lives Matter shirt on.
Yep.
You're kind of like the kryptonite. Nobody was touching you. Tell me about that.
Nobody was touching me. And I don't know what it is. Sometimes I was talking to my fiance about it too. It's like, it was almost like I was not invincible, but invisible. But I was wearing my Black Lives Matter. I mean, you can't mistake it. I mean, it says Black Lives Matter all down my chest. And I'm, wearing my bag with my camera equipment on it. And I just have my camera. Now, the first thing I do is when I walk on a scene like this is I go and find out where the press is. So I hang out with them because they're taking pictures too. But a lot of times, and Andrea hates when I do this, I like to get into the action also. Even though I have a zoom lens, I like to get into the action and get as close as I can. And so I am only about 10 feet away from this guy just shooting, to the point where I can hear their conversation over the crowd, and they see me, but they don't care. They are focused so much on the people in front of them. And I could have just gone on right in the middle, which is what I usually do, but I was like, okay, let me step on back. And then when they started pushing the crowd on, I was pretty much just like, I can see people actually thinking I was one of the cops.
Brent, we got our first call.
Let's see what's up.
Welcome to Calling America. This is Kelvin, Taylor, and Brent. Who's calling and where you calling from, caller?
Hey, this is Lawrence in Phoenix, Arizona.
Hey, Lawrence, how you doing, baby? Welcome to the show. We got Brent on the line, my friend. What's going on? Weigh in. Speak your truth.
So I was listening to your thoughts about the protest in Phoenix, and I'm kind of sure that this might have been the same protest where they everybody migrated towards the Garfield district or the I-10 exit off of 7th Street, and then the cops just basically created it was like a war zone. It was super crazy. I had so many friends that were trapped in it, and friends that lived in that area, and it just kind of became it was insane, it was super unconstitutional,
Yeah.
the things that they were doing, they were gassing people. One of my friends had to hide behind a dumpster, and he hid himself behind a dumpster underneath a box to escape the cops that were just basically arresting everyone,
Just at will,
they weren't
right?
doing anything. They were just peacefully protesting,
Yeah.
But what's crazy about that is, Lawrence, I think the one that you're talking about was a protest that happened very early on.
Yeah.
But the one that Brent attended was only a couple weeks ago. Right,
No,
Brent?
it was 2 days ago.
Okay.
A couple days ago.
But what's crazy
Oh
is
my
that,
God.
even though they're very far apart, but things aren't getting better, right? They started off bad and they're continuously getting bad. So these behaviors are constant. They're not siloed to this one event or this protest. They're happening across not only Arizona, but multiple states and multiple actions.
Well, and they weren't as bad as Portland.
No,
so
it's not as bad as that. It's still
Portland's
bad.
a whole nother level. Brent, are you able to hear Lawrence? This is the first time we're
I
doing
can
it.
hear Lawrence. Yeah, I can hear Lawrence.
Very good. What are your thoughts, Brent? Go ahead, weigh in on what Lawrence is talking about.
Real quick, let me just comment really quick about Portland. The thing is with Portland, they're doing it right. People who talk about the Montgomery bus protest boycott that Martin Luther King had run, that ran on for 13 months. So the fact that Portland is still doing this, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
We're supposed to be doing that. So never let an issue die. So when you hear this, even when Lawrence is talking about a protest on 7th Ave, and people still protesting, people may say, God, you're still protesting? Yes, until they give you what you want and what you are deserving of. You have to keep protesting under the law and under the constitutional law on what your rights are. Absolutely never give up, never stop. And, I've been to a bunch of protests out here in Phoenix, a lot of them. I've been to a lot of protests. And, it always sucks when the groups start getting smaller and smaller, but then, it takes somebody else.
The trend goes away. The trend goes away. So what I want to ask both of you guys right now, Lawrence and Brent. Lawrence, go ahead and weigh in on this, and then we're going to take our next caller. Why do you think the trend is gone in Phoenix? I want you both to answer that. Go ahead, speak your truth.
Okay.
Honestly, I couldn't hear what Brett was saying. through my like feed.
Okay, very good. That's good.
So
That's good feedback. So what Brent was saying, he just was saying about Portland is that the Portland's doing it right because they haven't let it go. They have not let the protest go. They are still protesting, and that's how you do a protest. And my question to you is why has the trend gone in Phoenix? Like, why has it gone in Phoenix? Why are we not protesting still in Phoenix? Because we had a huge uptick of protesting, and now it's gone. So speak on that real quick, Lawrence.
Yeah. It really makes me angry because I have friends that were a part, like, so I don't know if you guys have heard of Ryan Whitaker. Ryan Whitaker was a really awesome guy who was celebrating his daughter's graduation, having a good time, hanging out with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think they were making salsa and playing video games, and his upstairs neighbors called and reported a domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
And he was basically murdered. Like straight up, right,
like hands down murdered. This guy was murdered. So it was very, very, very bad what happened. So Lawrence, thank you so much for calling in, baby.
We protesting that, but
we should be. So we should be. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you so much for calling in. We're gonna open up the lines for the next caller.
All right, cool.
Thank you. Bye. Brent, go ahead and finish that out, my friend. I mean, let's speak on that a little bit. I mean, like that was a crazy situation, That
was. I mean, they lured him out. They gave him. When I looked at that video, if it's the one I remember, it was pretty much like Simon Says.
Yeah.
Directions. And when you didn't do, I mean, it was like, what am I supposed to? And then they were like, shoot. And everybody can't protest everything, I suppose. It's only, I mean, you can and you should. Every death means somebody who should be protesting. But you want to?
Yeah. Okay, my friend. Here we go.
There we go.
Welcome to Call in America. This is Kelvin and Taylor and Brent, and we're actually going to bring in a new caller. We're going to bring in Matty Steinkamp. We're gonna make this live, my friend. Matty, I hope you're ready to join the stream. But who's calling? Where are you calling from, caller?
This is Shay.
Hey, Shay. Shay's a regular. We're gonna bring on Matty. How you doing, Matty? How you doing?
Hey,
Let's
guys.
do that. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see. How do we do this? Let's do that.
Hey, Brent.
There we go. Yeah. All right, guys. So we got we're doing this live, guys. We are doing this live. So we got Shay on the phone. Shay, talk to us. What's going on? Speak your truth.
So I just kind of wanted to speak to the conversation. I recently had the opportunity to speak with a former police chief, Phoenix PD. Black man, and we had a in-depth conversation in class about what's going on, as well as the different things that are at play. And it kind of, how people of color, Black people, and protesters are all on edge because of what cops can be doing. Right now, that exact same mentality is going on with cops, except that, like, they're so far to the point where they're not able to kind of stop and realize that they have a greater ability to be to harm the other party because of everything that's going on. This has been a politicized event that has very little leadership on either side. So it creates fear, and with fear, there's just like there's no thinking, there's no thought process, there's no
logic.
There's very little going on in that department, if that makes sense.
All right, guys, we got Matty who just joined the conversation. Matty, we're going to let you take that. Welcome to the show, BT Dubs, and what are your thoughts? Speak your truth.
I 100% agree with her. I think, well, in the sense that there's not a lot of leadership. I don't know what it's like to be a police officer. I have a lot of family members who work in the public safety area, both in sheriff's department, correction facilities, and stuff like that. And I've had roommates and friends throughout the years.
And it kind of.
All right, we're gonna let Matty finish his thought real quick. Shay, go ahead, Matty.
Yeah, so I don't know what it's like to be a police officer or anything like that, but I do see that if you look at the numbers, if you look at the facts, if you look at the data, there's clearly not enough being done to either retrain or stop the issue of the violence that is continuing. There is no mass firings. There are no, if you look up these lists, there's so many return offenders in these scenarios. And I do have friends that work in the police department that will say that this is just a few bad apples. Well, then why are they still working with the police department? These things that are like, I'm kind of tired of being the guy that is like, well, why is this still happening? And then the argument back to me is, well, that's not everybody. You have to understand that's not everybody, and this, and you have to understand we need the police to protect us. And I'm sitting there going, but nobody is being held accountable. Like people are killing people that are unarmed, that are not breaking the law, and they're being fired for it. They're being fired for it. And then they can get a job in the same
same fucking thing, man. Come on.
They can get a job in the same county and get paid more to work for the sheriff's department for doing that same thing. I'm not talking about the good cops out there that come in and take care of my wife's store that are awesome to us. I'm talking about why isn't the system? I'm talking about why isn't the system doing the right thing? Why isn't the system doing the legal process of when someone does something wrong, they have to be held accountable? And that I think that is, I don't think I can say what it's like to be a cop and what it's like to be a victim of these things. I have not been a victim. I'm a white male. I drive around the city just as much as my friends, and I do everything I can to follow the law, and I go to these protests, and I don't get beat up. I don't get shot at. I don't get pulled over. And my friends do.
Yeah, so I want to speak about that a little bit. Shay, we're gonna go ahead and go ahead and end the call, my friend. We're learning some new stuff tonight because we're doing some new elements. I don't think you can hear what they are saying, and I apologize about that.
I was able to hear.
Oh, you were able to?
But I actually got on live and started listening.
Yeah.
And the accountability because I really wanted to speak on.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Speak on it, baby. Yeah. You're a regular. Go ahead. Speak, Shay. Go ahead. Tell us.
Yeah, so like literally, you're absolutely right. There's zero amount of accountability going on in the system, and the reason why is there wasn't really meant to be. There's no anytime there's any type of accountability that starts in the police department, it's met with a lot of resistance, not only by the police force but by the chief. It's also met with a lot of resistance by any leadership, which is there's typically like an appointed executive leadership that presides over the police department, and then you have the people who are in the department, who've been in the department for a long time, and they don't really feel that there's a necessary change that needs to happen. So that the reason why a lot of people are kind of like, I don't want to go through the reform route, is because it's hard. To get police to change and to enable a lot of like these mass firings and to enable a lot of discipline is usually met with a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
Without those simple, very, very simple reforms, that's like far as police actually saying, no, I don't want to handle mental health calls. No, I don't want to do this, that, and the other things, the things that we're not trained to do. And then at the same time, they're saying, we're going to go through and when we hire people, we're not going to hire people who are wanting to do the job for fun. We want to hire people who want to do the service piece, who want to do the protection piece, because let's be honest, cops are not legally or lawfully obligated to provide protection.
Okay, come on now.
You have to really you have to do a better job at screening who's coming into the force, and you have to do a better job of managing what tasks are being assigned onto the police officers, And the police officers need to do a better job of speaking their truth rather than, staying silent.
Come on now.
Tough guy ass and not being communicative. Because that's what we're seeing right now. Instead of, cops really trying to talk to people, de-escalate things naturally like normal people do, we see this aggressive tactic that's been trained to them or been trained before they even got to this position. And when they're not disciplined for it, there's no, as you say, they can't be disciplined because they'll be resistant. And if you, to get the change to happen needs to happen many different levels before we get to the mass firings, before we get to the discipline aspect.
Shay, thank you so much, baby.
I just wanted to,
I'm in love with you, baby. Thank you so much. We're going to open the lines for another caller, boo. Thank you.
Mhm.
I do have a question on the accountability piece, and Matty, you brought it up, so I'll direct the question towards you. We've had a lot of conversations with those that feel the same way, but we've also talked to a lot of ex-police officers that their rebuttal to that, and I haven't found a way to have more insights or more conversation around this is, well, there is accountability. It's just you don't see it. You're not in the police force, so you don't see it, but it happens every day. People are held accountable. Cops are held accountable. You guys just don't see it. How do you navigate that conversation to understand that it's still not what we need? It's not where we want to be when we say accountability.
Well, I think first it starts with legislation. We have to create the laws that would hold them accountable. I mean, right now, there are several states. I believe Arizona is one of them that it is not a mandatory murder charge if you kill somebody in the line of duty.
Wow.
If they're unarmed, it's not the same laws that apply to a civilian. That there are several laws in different counties that allow if a citizen holds an arrest, that they could even not get a murder charge in some instances if they fire and kill somebody that is unarmed, that has not had a chance to go to trial. I think that the issue is we're in the wild, wild west still.
Come on now.
We have
Speak that truth, baby.
The Republican majority in the Senate and the House of Representatives in the state of Arizona for the last 20 years have been deregulating, making it easier for guns to be purchased unlawfully, finding ways to deconstruct our education and our healthcare system, and our Social Security and our Medicaid system, so that the people that are most vulnerable also are praying and begging for some type of resource. What happens when you get past the chance of begging? You turn violent. You do anything you can to survive. And so now we're seeing that repercussion of people in survival mode. You see that repercussion of the far left and the far right, arming themselves. You see the repercussion of fear in police officers. What's interesting is this: police officers in Phoenix, Arizona, are more afraid of a group of people with hands in the air,
bottle.
Yeah,
with water bottles.
They're afraid of white people, guys.
Militarized white people
they're afraid of white people.
Literally semi-automatic weapons at the Capitol. That is the most interesting thing about what's happening right now. And I don't understand. I have several family members who are Democrats or independent or libertarian who are completely against, the police brutality, are for Black Lives Matters, and absolutely don't understand that same scenario as well. That why are those things treated completely different?
Come on now, speak that truth, ladies and gentlemen. Before we move on, Brent, tell us where they can find you, my friend. We're gonna get you off, and then we're gonna transition over to Trump 2020, my friend. Tell us where they can find you.
No doubt, you can find me. God. Anywhere if you want. The easiest
Tomorrow
way
we
is to look
vote.
me up. Yeah, right. Look me up on I think it's Instagram at Brent A. I think it's Brent A. Whiting, and Twitter at Brent. It's Brent Whiting, something like that. Whatever.
Your links are in the.
This is the Brent Whiting hat.
I'm in love with you, Brent. Thank you so much for joining the show, baby.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the invite.
Yes.
All right, you take it easy.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Maddie, we're going to transition, man. I want to talk about Trump, dude. I want to talk about Trump. Welcome to the show, Maddie. Thank you for speaking in on the police brutality stuff. But I want to talk about Trump 2020. We got Kamala Harris.
It's a comma.
Kamala. All right. It's like a comma and then a la. So speak of truth,
Kamala
baby.
like Mamala.
Hey, Kamala like Mamala. What do you got to say about it, baby?
We are going to have the first female vice president in the history of the United States.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. Now hold on, Maddie. If I may, because you and I we debriefed a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And we both was on the same page about something. Now it's sounding a little different in your tone right now. Can you tell the people what you believe in now? Tell the truth. Speak the truth.
I think that Trump has the best chance at winning.
You do. Okay.
I think that Trump has the best chance at winning, and for the last three chances that I've seen in the last 3 voting cycles, the underdogs have been winning. The up and comers, the ones that are fighting for every vote, the incumbents have been losing. And I'm talking about 2016. I'm talking about primary stuff. I'm talking about like small elections, but I'm just seeing a trend that. And this is the other thing. I don't count anybody out. I think that Trump is. And you and I were talking about this on the phone.
Hey, I got much to say about this. I got much to say. Go ahead.
I do not disagree that the Russians are helping Trump. I do not disagree.
Speak it true.
I do not disagree that foreign powers are currently finding ways to manipulate media, to manipulate social interest things. And in doing so, I also feel that there are more powerful international inside the nation online militias that are actively pursuing misinformation. And a great, I mean, we've seen it all during this pandemic. The Breitbart put out, these doctors that all of a sudden have a cure. We have this all of a sudden that there was that Antifa is now the terrorist party that has infiltrated the United States, even though that white supremacist militias are the ones being arrested for all the mass, destruction kind of stuff. So it's right. Misinformation is we're in it.
Here's the thing. So listen, this is what I've always said is that, I just want to first of all go out and say again that I walked away from the Democratic Party. I'm a black man. I woke up one day and I said, and who helped me do that was Biden. Biden said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. And I just said, I'm done. That makes no sense to me. And this is what this man is saying to me. And it's just like Trump saying you can grab her in the pussy. I'm not like one of the women who said, oh, that's fine. He can say that. I'm still going to vote for him. Nope. When Biden said, I'm not black if I don't vote for him, I walked away from the Democratic Party. Now, that being said, I realized a lot of stuff about the Democratic Party, about the Republican Party, and just about this entire system. Okay. What I realized is that the Democrats, this is my opinion, this is not the opinion of the show, Democrats are so emotional, right? And what's crazy is that the Republicans have always said that the Dems are emotional. And I used to be one of those people. And then I realized once I stepped away from them that yes, they are. And a lot of times they're the most racist people, Democrats and these, these hardcore liberals, baby, no, you don't care about black lives. You don't give a shit about black lives. And what I realized on top of that was that Trump knows how to win. Trump knows how to play the emotion of the Democrat to get us all riled up, so that
focus on the goal,
unfocused on the actual goal of winning.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, Trump is working. Trump is working in the background. And so that's why I was like hardcore, dude, Trump is going to win again. He's going to win again. And I said, Biden's only chance, and the only way he's going to get my damn vote is if he puts a black woman as a VP. Bottom line, my whole biggest thing is you have to, what the Democrats fail at doing, and we do it every single year or every single election year, is we fail at bringing up the black female voice. when you bring up the black female's voice, and I'm gonna speak to your underdog comment. When you bring up the black female voice, you bring up everybody, because the underdog is the one that we need to invest in, and the underdog in America is black women, black female and trans women. Bottom line, those are the underdogs. And so when you don't vote like you are one of those or for one of those, you are voting against your best interest, and that's what Democrats do. And so when he brought Kamala Harris in, you know what? I just said I still think that Trump has the best chance of winning, because he's really playing this game. I mean, he's doing things now. He's like forgiving student debt until December. He's bringing back the unemployment thing.
That's all a ruse. It
is. No, but it is. Yeah. But again, he's good at winning. He's good at winning. It's a show, baby. Yeah. He's putting on a fucking show, and people are entertained. And so he's good at winning. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting now that Kamala's in there. I'm just like, listen, I want her to win. I want to see her smile on inauguration day when they pass that shit over and it's done and done. I want her to win,
dude. So I want her to win for being the underdog, but she also just has really great ideas. I was watching her on Medicare for All. I was like,
she does.
This makes sense.
She does.
It makes so much sense of like how she's trying to make it not only public and the public offering, but she's also trying to make it a private sector. So all insurance companies would have to go through Medicare for All. And it's just making sure that's governed, that we're not profitizing healthcare. And it's like, why does this totally make sense? And every time I see her talk, whether she's doing something simple like cooking or in a very serious interview,
it's her damn smile. Yeah. I'm like, girl, smile to me. Smile to me. All right, my friend. What I want to hear from you, Matty, and then we're actually going to bring on Austin during your segment, and we're going to talk about Kamala. What I want to hear from you is that, like, so what is this idea
Kamala.
that I'm sorry, Kamala. My wine's kicking in, so excuse me. But anyway, Kamala Harris. I want to talk. So let's talk about the cop issue with her, right? Because she didn't used to be a cop, but she was like a head like she was taking care of cops for a while. So I want to hear your thoughts on that, and I'm going to bring in Austin, and then we're going to talk about that as well. Go ahead, speak your truth.
She is the first black attorney general in California. She's fought all odds.
Yes,
I do think that there are a number of people in my circle who have brought up the fact that you're just putting a cop in the vice president position.
Speak on it.
I think I was talking to my friend Cash the other day from the Stakes, the hip hop group, and
speak on it, baby.
He said that to me. I said, well, wouldn't you want to have that person to never have the chance to put anybody in jail again? And you only want that person to be able to get people out of jail. And so if you think about it, like the veto powers or like the pardon powers that come along with presidencies and stuff like that, I think that, she's already proven that she's had a change of heart and a change of focus from all of that past. And I think that we have an actual leader in her that is going to move forward. And here's the thing: Joe Biden and her both have come forward and admitted how they've changed their views on their past.
Come on,
like Joe Biden. Come on, baby. I think this is one of the biggest differences that I've seen in the last few years with the Biden moving up in the thing, is that he's been criticized by his past. He made pro force kind of laws when he was in office, and he's come forward and said that those were wrong. He's come forward and said that he has made mistakes.
When has Trump done that? When has Trump done that?
I don't want to give. I didn't vote for Biden. I voted.
Neither did I.
I voted for Elizabeth Warren. So
I voted for Kamala. I voted for Kamala.
The only reason why I didn't vote for Kamala was because she had already stopped before our primary. That was the only reason why. I was Harris all the way. What we have in Kamala Harris is an actual leader. We have one of the most educated vice presidents in the history of America about to be elected. We have one of the most amazing Like, if you could pick a more perfect person to be vice president, it'd be someone that would be on the Intelligence Committee of the United States Senate. It would be someone that's been on the Judiciary Committee in the United States Senate. It was someone that would have a complete understanding of the law, so that if our president has any questions on whether this is going to break the Constitution, or we're going to have to spend millions of dollars a year like Trump has done with the Supreme Court, breaking laws and unconstitutional executive orders, if we would have had someone that understands the law like Kamala Harris does as a vice president, we wouldn't be in a pandemic. We wouldn't be in this crisis of trade wars with who were our allies. We wouldn't be banned from 95% of the major countries in the world right now.
Christ, ladies and gentlemen.
If you look, I don't think you can look at her past as a negative at this point. I think you have to look. I want to speak on her past, and say what has she learned from it? What have we learned from it? And is she ready to move forward? And by all accounts, she has said she's ready to move forward, and the progressive movement has led her there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have joined to the stream today. We have Austin Hinderbelt.
Not even close.
All right, I'm going to stop you there.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry. Speak your truth. What is it, baby?
Kidding. It's Hildebrandt. It's
Hildebrandt.
Someone
Jesus
in my
Christ.
family got slutty with a German. So
Hildebrandt.
It's right there. It's right there.
We have Austin Hildebrandt, who's got an amazing podcast that he's going to talk about in a little bit. But welcome to the conversation, my friend. We're talking about Kamala Harris. I got that name right. We're talking about Kamala Harris. And what are your thoughts, man? Speak your truth on it.
Oh, God, I have a lot of thoughts. I want to say thank you so much for bringing me on here. And Matty,
welcome
for being on here as well. I love your voice. I was literally, look at this notepad. Just all
yes.
Because there were so many great things that I love that you said. Brent was amazing. And I really, he's such a hero for going out there and taking such amazing photos.
Cute.
So I have a lot to say, but I will try and condense it as best as I can.
We got 15 minutes. Let's go.
Great. So as far as Kamala, oh my God, I did it right. As far as Harris, I do believe that she is the best selection that he could have selected. End of story.
Yeah.
I really loved your underdogs win comment, because every single time that there's been like an inflated or inflammatory administration, the underdog always gets in there and wins.
Yep.
At least from what I've seen in my 27 years of life. But I wanted to say, like, I was devastated when she was running for president and she dropped out. That was my girl from the start. I loved her ideas.
Yeah.
Immediately from the start. Me and my fiance Brandon were like, do we have to, like, are we going to campaign for her? Are we going to go out into these streets and campaign for her? But I was devastated. I thought when she dropped out, I was like, she's a phenomenal selection for Attorney General. She would replace that human sandal, William Barr. And I think she would be a phenomenal selection if she wasn't vice president, or the vice president selection. But I really like to ask questions in regards to the people that are like, she's a cop. And
I have something to say about that.
Yeah. And I do agree. There's a difference between accountability and responsibility. The difference is accountability is solo. Accountability is with yourself. Responsibility, you're including a bunch of people. And I think that she's done both. I think that she's aware of those people that are saying we're just going to elect a cop vice president. But to that, I say, imagine being a black woman in a white man's professional world.
Come on now. Speak that truth, baby.
Imagine
Come on.
that. Like, you won't, because when a black woman goes into a white man's professional world, she's here to play the game. She's here to fuck shit up, but she also has to play the game.
You got to play the game.
And
you got to play the game, baby. Come on now.
We have to defend her. We have to protect her. And she wasn't my, like, I mean, she was my first choice as president. Presidential. But I mean, this administration was not. I mean, Joe Biden was not my first choice. But the fact that he stamped Kamala on there, I'm ready to go.
You're voting for Kamala. So I just want to chime in real quick because I'm so glad you brought that up. I actually was in a conversation with my mother about this the other day, and I said, the only way Biden's going to get my vote, because I was going to vote for the woman, the independent woman. There's an independent woman that is running for president. I was going to vote for her because I'm only going to vote towards my values, right? And I'm always going to vote for the minority. I'm always going to vote for the woman. Period. It just is what it is. So she was going to get my vote. The only way Biden's going to get my vote is if he brought on a black woman. And for me, it had to be Kamala. So he did it right. Now, here's the thing. Of course, Kamala did some shit that may not look good. She is a black woman in America. Do you not think she didn't have to play a fucking game to like get to where she is? Excuse my language. I'm sorry. No. Do you not think that she had to like play the game to get to that level? You know what I mean? Like we have to give, and I'm saying this to black people, we have to give black people the benefit of the doubt. We got our next call, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Call in America. This is Kelvin Taylor, Matty and Austin. Who's calling? Where are you calling from, caller?
Hi, I'm Judy Squeer, and I'm calling from Tucson, Arizona.
Hey, baby, how you doing? What's your question or what's your thought?
I just had some thoughts. You guys are talking a lot about like identity politics, and I love identity politics. They're one of my favorites. But like when picking a leader, I don't think it's the most important like aspect to them. I'm looking at their policies, and Kamala honestly wavering on Medicare for all was a big like off point for me. All the way off.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. So what do you think? What do you think? Like, so weigh in. Like, does she have your vote? Does Biden have your vote? Like, what are you going to do?
Oh, I mean, Biden would never have my vote, ever. Like, I don't vote for rapists.
Okay. Speak your truth, baby. Speak your truth.
I would definitely vote, like down ballot. I'm just not about picking the lesser of two evils whenever it comes to I believe if we flip the House and flip the Senate, then either way it's going to be fighting. Like Biden's not going to pass Medicare for all. Biden's not going to be like so like it's whatever to me. Like either way it's going to be a fight. Either way, like but if Trump wins, like the neoliberal folks are less likely to like fall back and into apathy and into their white silence. Into like all of that shit. Like that is something that I'm really scared about. If Biden wins, like everyone just stops fighting, stops speaking out, stops like working towards bigger solutions.
Thank you so much for your call. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. What are your thoughts, guys? Weigh in.
If you don't mind, Matty, I just want to jump in real quick. Judy and I were actually speaking on Facebook the other day. Some will say speaking, some will say whatever they want, whatever perception. But I invited her to come on the show.
Awesome. Very good.
And I'm so glad she did, because I wanted to actually hear what she had to say. And there were like 96% of what she said I completely validate and agree with. As far as identity politics, I agree. I think that they are important. I think that we should speak about it, but race is not political at all. It sucks because it starts to look like tokenism, and I had to learn a lesson in tokenism. Did Joe Biden just choose her because she's black, or did he choose her because of her ideas?
Oh boy, let's get into it.
That is a slippery slope. That is, really, really, really difficult.
I mean, he did.
Navigate. And yeah, if we have to admit it, he did. And
he did. I mean, he should have.
But yes, he should have. Does that negate her ideas? Absolutely not. Does that negate how great she is as a speaker and as a person who debates really well? No, I'm not going to negate her because she's fucking phenomenal. But I do agree with almost everything that Judy said in regards to like just liberals in general, in regards to, there was one really good point and I should have fucking wrote it down, but Matty, go ahead. Sorry.
Maddie, go. Speak, weigh in.
I mean, she said it though, flip the Senate, flip the Congress,
There we go. That was it.
Especially in the state, like, we have a chance to have for the first time in Arizona 2 Democratic senators, and Mark Kelly, by all means, is the right choice for Arizona for Democrats right now. And he can beat Martha McSally. And in 2 years, when Kirsten Sinema's seat is up and Doug Ducey runs against her, she's going to beat him. You know, and she's
Doug Ducey failed. Come on, Doug Ducey.
And so I really feel like she said something that I think is the most powerful thing. I've been telling all my friends this. I said the most important race right now is Mark Kelly. I said if Mark Kelly wins Arizona, we have a totally different landscape for the next 4 years. And that's my biggest thing. I agree when I have two things, and I've gotten set straight on this, and so I just want to make sure I want to say this straight. I first believed that I wanted to go out there and tell people, hey, vote for whoever you want. I agree with you. It does look like it's Creepy Joe sometimes. It does look like it's this bad thing, and Kamala Harris, maybe did put more black men in jail than she did white men.
Okay.
But what we're looking at right now, if everybody can just take a step back from all the humanitarian, personal, on the street stuff right now, and we're just about to face the biggest crisis in the history of the world, which is water. Water is being polluted, and there's only one person that's polluting that water. So regardless of what we all think of anything, we're not going to be able to drink water in Arizona in the next 10 years if we don't get Trump out of office. That's a fact. There's no way around it. And as far as I've seen, the interest groups have gotten a hold of Biden and Harris and said, you're gonna campaign on environmental justice, and you're gonna do this right, and you're gonna pass environmental laws, and all the other stuff can come later. We're not gonna live unless we don't have water.
Okay, Taylor, do you have any thoughts to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, listen, this is what I want to say, my friend, and then we're gonna finish out the show with Austin. We're gonna finish out the show with Austin. Austin's gonna do our three things. We're at 7:55, guys. We had an amazing show.
Our timing, wow, impeccable.
I'm a
Austin,
show guy.
You're so
I like them.
You're so great.
You are too, Matty. Thank you.
You know what, Matty, tell us where they can find you, baby.
All right, so right now you just got to go and search for the film La Morena. My partner Peter Juarez just put the film out. It's about ending family separation. You can go to mangoskiesfilms.com and see any of our films. We are making films for the people, by the people, to create a better society, a more inclusive society for all of us. I'm so thankful that you both had me on. I love you both, and thank you so much.
This was awesome.
Also,
thank you for being on.
Yeah, just follow everybody. We're all trying to do things, and also just the word of the year is flexibility. We got to be flexible.
Mine is triggered. Mine is triggered. my 2020 word is triggered. Maddie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
baby.
guys.
Life is good, love is real. I love you. Bye,
Thank you,
baby.
Matty.
And then we have Austin, baby.
What's
How you
up,
doing,
Austin?
boo?
Hi.
Hey, I'm in love with the black background. Let me tell you.
Oh my God, this whole thing. It's
Girl.
it's a bed sheet.
Oh, stop it.
Don't give away your secrets.
Don't give away your damn secret.
You gotta be honest, even if it was a trash bag.
We're gonna do that here. Oh my gosh, that looks so amazing. I love it. It's so fabulous.
It's literally
Austin.
held by duct tape. So
Austin, here's what I want to say to you, my friend, is that
I'm trash.
I was no, God, no, not at all.
No, not that. Okay.
What I was going to say to you is this: is that I was totally on the topic of that Trump was going to win 2020, but you and I talked about this earlier. Is that like now I'm just hopeful that Kamala will win. So what I want to hear from you is just why is it important for you to have a black VP? Why is it important for you for these guys to win? Like where's your head at in all this?
Well, I wanted to touch on what Judy was saying earlier.
Please do.
The fact that she will not vote for a rapist. And trust me, I don't.
Let's speak on that. Let's speak on that.
Discredit her. And I think that that's something that we should bring up.
It's valuable.
Yes. Every single day we should bring it up. He needs to speak on it. He needs to I don't think an apology is really necessary, but at least admit it. I think in a way that in a way that will represent truth to power, it's almost kind of like tastefully shaming yourself and being like, this is what happened and I can grow from it.
Yeah.
Whereas we have an actual rapist in office and he's so unapologetic about it. And but I get it. Judy is not wrong. And I'm not going to treat her like garbage because
I'm glad.
You know, I'm not going to do that. I want you to scream it from the top of the rooftops.
I'm glad.
And
I'm glad.
If that means you don't vote for who I'm aligning with Kamala, that's fine. That's totally fine to me. What I won't tolerate is you being like, I'm just going to throw my vote. You deserve nothing. If you are.
Well, let's talk about that. Okay. Since you brought it up, let's get into that. Because here's my thing. And this is where Democrats have to stop being, because I still secretly identify as a Democrat, and I hate that, but it's intuned in me, right? I walked away. I'm an independent, but I still identify, secretly down under. I'm a Democrat. Here's what we have to stop doing as Democrats is shaming each other. And putting all these and stop shooting on each other. We have to stop shaming and stop shooting. Okay, we keep shitting all over each other. And the thing about it is that we cannot do that because the reality is that the Democratic Party is heavily flawed.
Oh,
heavily flawed.
Yes.
There are more racists, there are more sexist, there are more homophobes in the Democratic Party than in any party that I'll ever speak to. I don't give a shit about the Republican Party. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't care. That's not my bag. Trump doesn't scare me. Racism scares me. And you know where racism breeds is subtly in the Democratic Party. So the reality is that we as Democrats have to start looking in the damn mirror. So where Judy is right is that, hey, if she doesn't want to vote for rapists, baby, Judy, I'm talking to you. Don't vote.
Yeah.
Don't vote because and listen, and you not voting is not you voting for Trump. And we need to stop saying that because the Democrats have to do better. We have to do better as a party and make people earn our vote. We got to earn our vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're not doing that right now. And it's nobody's fault if that's not the case. And so I want to speak my truth and say, the shaming of people who choose to not vote, because honestly, I was one of them. I told y'all right now, Biden did not have my vote. You know who had my vote? Was the woman.
Yep.
She had my vote. And I didn't give a damn if anybody thought different than me because it is my right to vote. It's my right to vote. I can vote for whoever the hell I want to vote. And what Democrats have to stop doing is shaming people for not voting. Go ahead.
I mean, I literally just said right before that if you don't vote, that you don't deserve anything. What I mean is Judy encapsulated it perfectly, is that she's going to write on the ballot, or she's going to put something on the ballot. That's great. I am one of those people that started out everything as far as speaking out, really loud in a very shame, in a very shame navigation. And if
I may, emotional. If I may.
Absolutely. I literally wrote down, I highlighted emotional on this paper on the top right.
Yeah.
And it is true because my emotions are very, very, very strong. And sometimes my emotions become foggy and they don't get to they
get in the way.
Yeah. A very structured navigation and opinion. So sometimes I just let the emotions take over and I'm not like, like you always tell me all the time, it's just focus, regain focus or retrain your focus.
So
yeah,
real quick, I want to read you a comment. I want you to speak on this based on what I just said, because what I just said is that I've said that racists. I said the Democrats are just as racist as Republicans, right? That's what I meant. And I have a comment who says, tuned out when you, meaning me, I'm going to go take credit for that, accuse the Democrats of being racist when the Republicans are literally Nazis. I want you to speak on that.
Yeah. Hey, Lawrence Miller. I will absolutely help you tune back in. I hope I can. No, there are racist Democrats. And the difference between Republican racists and Democrat racists is that Republicans are secretive. They have a whole entire fucking secret organization underneath the system of America that is continuously running like water through pipes. Whereas
it's their bottom line.
Right. Whereas Democrat racists, they don't realize, and they think that they're just because they have the progressive label means that they can't be racist.
Come on. Hey, come on now.
I absolutely know. I believe in white responsibility and taking accountability. I know for a fact, as a Democrat and as a progressive, I have been racist, and I still sometimes miss the mark. So
come on, baby.
I'm not yelling at you, Lawrence. I have no malevolence towards you. That's what he means, is that there are Democrats that are racist and they don't even realize it, and we need to call that out.
And even more so, when you don't realize that the racism's happening, that makes you more racist as far as I'm concerned. I'm speaking my truth.
Blind racism.
Because you're being blind. You're being blind to racism, and you're saying, no, we're Democrats. We all love. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
And
no, you don't.
You're admitting it as you're talking. Like
as you're talking.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the conversations that I had. The reason why I said I'm not voting for Biden is because Trump doesn't scare me. Racism scares me. There has been 8 black boys that have been hung from trees in the last 2 months, and they've all been deemed suicide. And when I bring that argument up, Democrats, for the most part, will say, yeah, but we can't have Trump. Understand? Okay. Listen to what I just said. Yeah, there have been 8 black boys. 8 black boys have been hung from trees, and they've all been deemed suicide. And you talking about Trump? Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Understand that is the problem. That is the problem, and that's where Democrats need to realize that, like, you don't care about black lives.
No,
you don't. You don't. No. You don't. And listen, it is what it is. Like I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid anymore. Mm-hmm. And so, and that just is what it is. And so, that's all I got to say. Final thoughts on this topic, Austin, go.
Okay, wait, hold on. So I wrote it down. So it's going to sound like I'm off a script, but
no. Final thoughts, go.
I think this is going to be like the all lives matter statement, but I don't mean it that way, because fuck that statement.
Just speak the truth.
But this really does have to be a social congregation, and we all have to travel together, meaning when one is in trouble, we travel with them and we get them heard. When one is hurt, we all should help them heal. And I think that we have, as far as Kamala Harris, she is someone who travels with people, no matter what her record is, no matter how much wrong she's done, and I validate that. She travels, and we have to take that example. Black women always, does not matter. They always fight to make sure people heal, and they always fight their mental health to make sure everyone else is better. We have to protect her.
Oh, very well said.
Oh, guys, stop. I really mean it, though, like from the bottom of my heart.
That's so true. All right, we're going to play 3 things. Taylor, how do we play 3 things?
Austin, have you ever played 3 things with us before?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Well, sound more excited about it.
I loved what you guys did. I was a disaster the last time I played. So
now you tried to redeem yourself. Go ahead.
So we'll give the notes for the audience. So we're going to go through 3 questions. The first one is, what went well for you today?
Such a good show.
The second question is, what could have gone better? And the last question,
we're gonna take. That is Miss Shay. Shay, I love. We're gonna take it. Shay, how you doing, baby? You got 1 minute, baby. Speak your truth. Go.
So, has anyone talked about WAP at all?
Austin, what are your thoughts on WAP?
I will encapsulate it very quickly.
We're gonna think about that real quick. Thank you, Shay. We're gonna talk about that right. Shay, you got 20 seconds. Tell us what your thoughts are about WAP. Now, 20 seconds. Go.
Oh my God! Like everything I ever needed and more. Like Hot Girl Summer was here when Cardi brought it with Megan. Like, yeah.
I'm in love with you, Shay. Thank you, baby. Go ahead. Speak on WAP real quick.
Oh, very quickly. We needed it. Yes to Cardi and Meg. And if you have a problem with wet ass pussy, but you're screaming slob my knob every second.
Hey, you better wake the hell up.
This needs to happen more.
So we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to bring a woman on to talk about that. Austin was going to be our WAP segment, but actually I wanted Austin to speak on Kamala, and we're going to bring a woman on to speak about WAP. Okay, Austin, 3 things. Go.
All right. So
what went well? Dead.
Yeah, what went well? What could have gone better today? And what are you excited about for tomorrow, this weekend, or just in the upcoming next 7 days? So we'll start it off, and
you'll finish it off. Okay.
Okay.
Yep,
But anybody, all of our audience, as we ask the questions as we go through it, put in your answers
in the comments. Put in the comments. First thing is, what went well for you? What could have been better? And then what are you excited about tomorrow? I want to start. What went well for me today? You know what went well for me today, man, is this fucking show. You know, I just was super excited. I did a lot of I changed a lot of the graphics. I made all new graphics today for the show, did all new advertising. I met with all 3 callers today. We all did like dry runs, and it was like super cool. And I'm just in love with what happened tonight. It was super exactly the direction that Call in America wants to go. I'm so excited to do these videos. That's my what I'm excited about for tomorrow. Is I'm excited to break these videos down and like make them into smaller segments and like put those out there. And a missed opportunity for me today would just be not having more fun on the show. I'm in love with this. Go ahead, Tay.
So what went well today? I would also say the show. It's a different format. I love the backgrounds that my husband's put into it. I love the guests. It's been some of our best discussions that we've had.
Amazing.
And I think that what I think is going to happen is that these conversations are going to continue going on even after the show is done. So what could have gone better? I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but I spilled an entire drink over here, and it went everywhere.
An entire drink over the computer and everything,
like my refill drink too. So it's everywhere. So I'm sticky, I'm messy.
My computer's fucked, but
yeah, my phone, I don't even know. And then what I'm excited about for tomorrow or this weekend is my sister's in town, and she's visiting from the East Coast, so I can't wait to see her.
Austin, what it went well for you today? What's a missed opportunity? What are you excited about coming up in the future? Go. The floor is yours.
What really went well is typically in situations like this, I get extreme. This is not a performance, but I get extreme performance anxiety, and I was super calm. I got to give myself credit.
Yes.
Because I could have just said I don't want to do it, but I challenged myself. And 2, or what thing could I guess improved on, or what could have been better? Man, I guess I could have gotten up earlier, or like I could have been more prepared.
It's a thing.
I think I rely on procrastination a lot, but I could have gotten up earlier and been more prepared.
Yeah.
And then what I'm excited for is continuing discussion, continuing conversation. And then I also am recording my podcast going forward.
Tell them where they can find you, baby. Tell them all about your shit. Go ahead.
Yeah. My podcast is called Spare Me White People. And you can find me literally on any platform. It's just at Spare Me Podcast. And that's where you can find me.
Hey, Austin, my mother said you did beautiful.
Lola. Thank you.
Hey, if you got the Lola Harper credit of approval, I barely get that. So you just yeah.
Sorry,
my mom's gonna call me now after the show. So
yikes. That's
Austin,
gonna be a really loaded combo.
Yeah, it is. Austin, thank you so much, baby. We're gonna take you off, boo.
Thank you.
Okay, I love you. I love you. Bye, baby.
So here we are. We're at the end of
our show, man. Final thoughts, Tay.
I think that Brent did an amazing job. I love his story.
Brent was awesome.
Insights.
Sexy black man.
I think that Matty is always a joy to talk to. I think he's so
Matty was fantastic. Brent was fantastic.
Yeah. And then I think Austin brings such a refreshness to the perspective and just looks at things that, maybe I haven't seen. And I love the conversation. I love his notes that he took too, just the pages and pages. So we had 3 different people that all brought very different perspectives. I feel like a lot of the conversations were reliant on one another, right? They weren't independent of one another. They continued to flow from the beginning.
So let's take a minute and talk about the show. Like, we changed it up today. Like, here's what I think that is going to happen going forward. When you call in, you get to make your statement or your question, and then that's it. And then we get to speak on it. I think that's what it is. I think we're going to take out the conversation piece until we can figure out how they can all hear each other, because we don't have it to where the guests can hear the call. Well, they can hear the caller, but the caller can't hear the guest.
We have some IT work to do.
We got some IT work to do, but as of now, I kind of like the idea of the caller calling in and say, "Hey, this is what I want to know." This is blah, and then we speak on it. I think that's really, really great.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the show?
I just thought it was great.
Ending statement.
My final statement is that dialogue is the most important thing that we could have right now, and in conversating is so important. And I just think that we just need to continue to have guests on the show that have differences of opinion, and we need to continue this dialogue. So I'm in love with it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Police suck. Kamala rules, and whap it in, whap it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kelvin.
I'm Taylor.
And that is our show.